Uh-huh. I think I hear what you're saying. We're all doing it for the money. End quote. No, not at all. Looks like someone's already meeting here. Maybe that reporter? Oh nein. Wie sieht der denn aus?
Hey there, how are you doing? Who might you be?
Sorry, we didn't know someone was already here. I'm Apollo Justice, attorney at law. Talk about a nervous monkey.
You Justice? You?
You know me?
Do I know you? Of course I know you. There's not witnesses. I'll stand till they spill beans. End quote.
That's not true. What is he writing? Are you a reporter by any chance?
Oh, you Trucy.
Am I famous?
Oh yeah. Trucy, right? Hates carrying a bag. Puts everything she owns in her panties. End quote.
That's so not true.
Just hold on to your breeches there. I'll wrap up this interview in a jiffy.
Interview?
So, guard, I think I know what's going on here. Guarding room is my life. What else could I possibly need? End quote.
No, how many times do I have to tell you this? Look, I've got work to do. You deal with him. Did you come here to interview the guard?
Oh, we what a prequel. Accused would knock. And to interview someone or go prawn hazy. End quote.
Huh? Jetzt kann ich auch mal verstehen, dass sie sich so versteckt. I should have guessed.
Where are my manners? Her name is Brushel, smart Brushel. I'm not picky. Journalist just closes eyes. Writes. End quote.
What's that nauseatingly strong mint smell every time he grins?
Until you've been interviewed by me, you don't know what threading is. Wild run through crossroad of mayhem, madness. End quote.
I can see that. He's writing something again. Well, if he's a reporter, maybe he knows something. You're a journalist?
Me? Look, let me state one thing for the record here.
Yes?
Oh, I'm the interviewer, you understand, yeah? I'm the one asking the questions here. End quote.
Okay.
For instance, do you think a movie director watches movies?
Well, I think he probably does.
Exactly. I knew you'd understand.
Huh? So, the night of the murder, you were at Drew's studio?
Me? Who, me? Look, let me state one thing for the record.
Yes?
I may look calm and collected, but I'm busy, real busy, always on the road. A journalist always buys one-way tickets, never looks back. End quote.
I can understand that philosophy, but...
You want to know the thing about one-way tickets? Once you use them, they're gone. All because you have to give them to the guy at the airport.
True enough. But don't they give normal tickets away too?
Exactly, see? It's the same thing.
What is... Ich glaube, der macht nicht viel Sinn. The interview. So, you went to do a story on Drew Mission. And he'd never had a story done about him before? Die Vorstellung.
That's right. Look, let me state one thing for the record here.
What?
I'm sure you're going to want to know about my source. What tipped me after Drew? Why do the interview in the first place?
Well, yes.
Look, it's like... Oh, I've got it. Say, there's this burger joint with fabulous ketchup. You think the burger guy's going to tell me where he got it?
At the supermarket, maybe.
Exactly, see? That's what I'm talking about.
I think I may have actually understood that one.
Well, there's nothing I can talk about, really. Walls have ears, eyes, especially glass walls with speakers. End quote.
Right, guess we'll leave then.
How about since you're here? Might as well tell you a tidbit of news I saw, just for the heck of it.
Sure, tell us. Just for the heck of it.
I remember like it was yesterday. I'd seen a movie on a trip and wandered into this burger place with amazing ketchup, when an article in the tabloid caught my eye. Famous oil painting stolen from art dealer's gallery. End quote, I believe it was.
An oil painting?
Happens every day, right? But I thought I'd seen that painting somewhere before. A painting of a giant peach floating down the river. Uh-oh.
Someone stole an oil painting of a giant peach.
Journalists can smell scoop better than burgers, end quote.
Meinst du vielleicht das da?
Right, let me go on the record here.
Yes?
I know what you're going to say. Brushel, take this. Write brilliant column, end quote.
I don't think so.
Look, buddy, I write brilliant columns about one thing, and that's food. Try to understand.
What could he possibly be writing? He didn't listen to a word I said. Okay, dann vielleicht das da? Auch nicht. Ich dachte, ich müsste ihm das jetzt zeigen. Ich zeige ihm lieber einmal alles, bevor ich wieder was verpasse. Mit dem Grinsen könnte er da auch als Zeilenstelle auftreten. Ja, ich bezweifle, dass der noch irgendwas zu sagen hat. Vielleicht müssen wir einfach wieder woanders hingehen. Das wundert mich halt ein bisschen, weil, wo er jetzt gerade das Gemälde erwähnt hat, das wirkt ja echt so, als müsste man ihm das jetzt mal präsentieren. Bringt ja alles nix. Ich ihm den gezeigt? Da auch nichts zu sagen. Warum hat er eigentlich eine Zahnbürste? Na gut, dann gehen wir mal woanders hin. October 7th, Brushel Studio. Well, how'd it go? Find anything out? Actually, there was one thing I wanted to check with you. What's with that scary face you're making? And what's with the I know something but I'm not telling face you've got going, Emma? Und was war das jetzt? This painting came from behind that dresser. Ah, yes, so it was stolen, no? I was hoping you wouldn't figure that out. Do you think you could tell us a bit about this? I suppose. It's what you think. Drew Misham was a forger. A forger? So, what exactly is a forger? Well, basically, it's someone who makes forgeries. Fakes, in other words. Fakes? Copies of an original. Exact copies, so precise you can't tell them apart. Well, why not just photocopy them? The big problem with forgeries is that people try to sell them as the real article. It's a crime, of course. So Drew Misham was a criminal? I'm afraid so. He received money to create elaborate forgeries, to supplement his work in illustration, I guess. I see. Actually, that's why I brought this here in the first place. What do you mean? When you're trying to determine if a painting is a forgery, the rough sketch underneath can be a valuable clue. So the rough sketch is like practice for the real thing. Like doing a magic trick in front of a mirror before you go on stage. But not in the case of a forgery, not necessarily anyway. You know what the finished product is going to look like after all. Oh yeah, I guess you would. That's why I brought this. I'm going to use it to see what's under the paint of the finished pieces. I get it now. Not that I really needed to go to such length, seeing as how one of the paintings was only half finished anyway. Still, it'd be neat to see Mr. Misham's rough sketches. Kind of like what he was drawing when he thought no one was looking. True, that would be interesting, and maybe valuable for our case. You should try buttering her up, Apollo. Flattery will get you everywhere, they say. Maybe I should ask Emma to help us out. Können wir jetzt das hier präsentieren? I kind of wanted to see the rough sketch on this painting. and I was wondering if your tool there might do the trick. Oh, fine, just this time though. Let's check it out. Da bin ich ja jetzt mal gespannt. Passt ja das hier natürlich. Njam, njam. Mhm. Das sieht aus wie ein Turm, wo Feuer rauskommt. Kann das sein? Das ist jemand, der auf einer... Okay, let's print this one out. Da steht doch jemand. Das sieht aus, als ob der brennen würde. What the fuck? Sieht aus, als würde jemand Gitarre spielen und dabei brennen. Hat jemand Klavier angezündet? What the heck? Wow, it really blows. The finished painting isn't anything like the rough. Devices like mine didn't exist until recently. He probably thought he could draw any sort of thing he wanted to for the rough. Hoffentlich, ja. What do you mean? Well, in the past, you could only analyze the composition of a rough sketch. Composition? In other words, the traces of charcoal between paint and canvas. So you could tell if there had been a rough sketch, but not what it looked like. I think I follow you. So in essence, it wouldn't matter what was underneath the finished painting. Some pros would actually paint out a rough sketch entirely, then do a complete new painting on top of that. So Mr. Misham was drawing whatever he wanted before painting over them. Possibly. Is there a problem with that? Not particularly, but something about the sketch itself is kind of odd. You're awfully silent all of a sudden, Apollo. Think we could check out one of the other paintings? Well, sure. You like this detection stuff, don't you? Gut, da bin ich jetzt doch gespannt, was hier noch so zu finden ist. Mhm. Ich erkenne da gerade ein Muster. Aber, what? Das vorhin war ein Typ, der ein Konzert gibt mit einer brennenden Gitarre. Das ist ein Typ, der einen Nudelwagen zieht. But why? This one too. What's wrong, Apollo? You look so serious all of a sudden. You think I could just look at the last of these? Fine by me, knock yourself out. Why in the world would he... Huh? Ich sehe es schon. What the heck is all this? I hesitate to ask why you're getting so excited. You sure your device isn't leaking some kind of strange radiation? Trucy, look at these 3 sketches. Do you notice anything? There. Now you're both white as sheets. What's going on? These sketchers are of the 3 cases I worked on. What? The murder in the poker room at the Borscht Bowl Club. The dead man pulling the noodle stand. And then the events that transpired during the Governor's concert. What could it mean? How could he have drawn those things? And why? That's what I want to know. Wait, is Drew Misham your father? Give me a break. Does that seem even remotely possible to you? I'd never even heard of any Drew Misham before. I hadn't even seen a picture of him. But there were my cases, drawn on his canvas. Every single one of them. It couldn't have been a coincidence. Just who was this Drew Misham? And what did he have to do with me? Huh. Okay, das wusste ich auch tatsächlich nicht mehr. Da war ich jetzt ziemlich überrascht, als ich das Bild mit dem Nudelwagen gesehen habe. Oh, jetzt sind wir schon hier. Vor Gericht. Good morning. So, you're Vera, right? I'm Trucy. Trucy Wright. That's right with a W. But not right. Like if you write a letter, right? We're on your side. You can tell us anything, please. Good morning. She speaks. Not bad, not bad. But I think you do better with a little smile, you know? You're so pretty. You need to sell yourself, you know? Trucy, let's take it easy for starters. Oh. Thank you for taking my case. Das ist mir schon ganz am Anfang aufgefallen. Ich glaube, im ersten Stream hatte ich da kurz mal was zu gesagt. Ich weiß auch nicht, warum das hier hängt. Okay, well, it's a start, I guess. Well, there she goes with the nail polish again. That's great, really. It's so cultured. Want to try? Oh, really? Girls. The victim, Drew Misham, was a forger, and a stolen painting was found in his studio. A life of crime, really. And maybe one that led to his death. Oh, da ist ja Klavier wieder.
Well, we will now begin the trial of Vera Misham.
Is the judge okay? His voice is all raspy, and he was looking around all nervous like. Er hat sich genau, er hat sich angesteckt.
The repercussions of today's trial will most likely be felt for a long time. It may indeed alter our legal system forever.
Today is a test of the jurist system, and the first step toward a new order in our courts. That is secret mission. The jurists will function like a jury. It is hoped their inclusion will help the courts to better reflect the people's will. Why aren't there any jurists in the courtroom then? 3 closed-circuit cameras watch this courtroom at all times. The jurists have access to everything that transpires.
Jurists, judge well and judge cool. Now see here, Prosecutor Gavin. I was going to say that.
My apologies, Herr Judge.
Jurists today judge today's trial coolly, if you would be so kind.
The jurors are unbound by the letter of the law. They don't affect the trial with evidence, but by their feelings. And we're about to find out just what effect they're going to have.
Very well, Prosecutor Gavin. The details of the case, if you would.
The victim is the painter Drew Misham. He was killed in his own studio. His coffee was poisoned. By whom, you ask? By none other than the defendant, Vera Misham. There wasn't any poison in the coffee. Achtung, someone has been doing their homework. Indeed, poison was not present in the coffee, but on the mug itself.
The mug? A residue was found on the rim, I see.
The autopsy report describes the manner of our victim's death.
The court accepts this as evidence.
Death by crocodile poisoning. Estimated time of death 9:30.
According to this report, the victim's death was caused by crocodile poisoning.
A chemical compound that does not occur naturally. Lethal dosage is a mere 0.002 milligram. The touch of a trocrinine in the body is the touch of the Reaper's scythe.
Very well, Prosecutor Gavin, you may present your witness.
I have reached today a simple man for a simple case. A man who witnessed the murder in its entirety. That journalist, no doubt. Not erfreut mich ja total. The witness will state his name and occupation.
Right. Well, for starters, my name is Brushel. My job is a lone observer of the wild.
In other words, a freelance journalist, right?
If you don't mind, I'd like to state something here for the record. Yes, Mr. Brushel. I dislike conclusions, specifically the aspect of jumping to conclusions. Reconceptions make a bark sandbox of endless desert waste, end quote.
But you are a journalist. You said so yourself yesterday. Auf jeden Fall mit dem größten Dödel an. Ja. Wobei bei dem Gitarren-Letus-Fall war ja, glaube ich, war Lameror als erstes im Stand. Die ging ja eigentlich noch.
Well, that's true, yes. Oh, you must understand, I stand before you today, a man with a dream. I'm offering you my testimony in exchange for exclusive rights to the story. Screw turns, Mr. Brushel, into that, Mr. Brushel, end quote. Let's hear the testimony then, shall we?
A simple case, eh, Gavin? For me, the jury is still out.
First outsider to enter the atelier. Journalistic history made, end quote. His daughter brought us coffee right after we started. And you know what happened next? Star Falls, end quote. No one else entered the room besides her the whole time. That does sound like a simple case. Unless you were the one who poisoned him. What are you saying, Judge? Need I remind you the cameras are rolling today? I felt the need to be a bit dramatic.
You didn't do it, did you?
Me do a thing like that? Come on, that's like newsmaker making the news, end quote. Or even contemporary witch hunt, end quote. I know, wild accusations, rock courtroom, end quote.
Rock indeed. Prosecutor Gavin sure looks like he's having fun. I'm so happy for him.
Very well, Mr. Justice, your cross-examination, please.
I visited the studio around 9 that night to do the interview. 9 at night. Isn't that a little late for an interview?
Every painter Drew mission says to come at 9. Believe you me, I go at 9. The first, and it's turned out last interview, was such a prolific painter.
Right, can you tell us what it was like when you arrived?
First outsider to enter the atelier.
You were the first reporter ever in Drew's studio.
Posterity will look back on the night as a turning point in journalistic history. Basically, insignificant step for all mankind, but a giant step for that Brushel guy, end quote.
If no one on the outside ever had access to the studio, then it would serve to reason that the deed was done by an insider. By which he means Vera did it. So how did this epoch-making interview go?
Story brought us coffee right after he started.
Would you mind being a little more specific?
Oh, oui, let me tell you, I enjoy a couple. In fact, it all began when I was in 3rd grade. No, wait, 4th grade.
That's not what I meant. I believe I know what her forehead is driving at. This coffee the victim was served. Did anyone other than the defendant touch it? Right, that. That's what I was going to say, really.
Well, now, if you had a question to ask, you'd best straight up ask it. That's what I tell all the new recruits, several times, if necessary. Write for a grade schooler? That's my motto. Which isn't to say I can only write grade school level stuff, mind you.
Who touched the coffee? Jesus.
Dunno. I was in the back, looking at the studio's equipment when she served it.
And what happened next?
And you know what happened next? You know what happened next. Star falls, end quote.
What is this about a star falling? Star falls, huh? It's like an old telegram. Send money over.
Zoe, you don't know. That's like a journalism code word. An important personage passes away. The star falls, get it?
But there's no gravity in space, is there? I wouldn't think stars could fall, really. Does this matter?
Oh boy, this is good stuff, good stuff. How about star breaks? Nah, lacks punch. I know. Star dies. Lacks imagination. Of course, you could go with Drew dies. Straight to the point. I like it.
I think we need to hear about something a little more substantial. Schlag mal was vor. Moment of Death? Ich würde vielleicht sagen Moment of Death, oder? Einmal den Nacken strecken. Moment of Death in 3, 2, 1. About when Mr. Mission passed away.
Oh boy, what a scene that was. He puts his coffee mug down with a crash, right? Yes, and then the cold finger of death touches his spine. Life's flame sputters and fades. So cold was that touch he could do naught but tremble uncontrollably. Actually, life's flame is a little tired. Life's river froze over. Yes, that's a go.
I think he's starting his article already. Could you describe that a little more simply? Katze ist er natürlich.
Well, as you can imagine, I was pretty surprised. He hit the floor, as they say. Artist seizures final performance. End quote.
Atropine paralyzes the central nervous system. The body arches back like a bow, the limbs tremble, the throat burns.
That's quite enough of that. Some of us want to be able to sleep tonight. Oh yeah? Well, I want details. Lots of juicy details.
For that you can listen to our last year's hit single, Atropine to My Love by the Governors, available at all major music outlets. Moment, ich muss mal gucken, ob die Katze da gerade auf Klo. Ja.
The point here is that the victim died of atropine poisoning. Well, Mr. Justice, how did you find the testimony?
Mal gucken, ob irgendwas, was dem widerspricht. Eigentlich nicht, ne? I think the moment of Mr. Mission's death would be important, but Mr. Brushel's story really didn't tell us anything we didn't already know.
Very well, please continue with the testimony.
Okay, was haben wir denn? Ich frage mal eben, was hier so zu sagen hat. Can you say that for sure that no one entered the room?
For sure. The studio isn't a big place, kiddo. I'd know it if someone else had come in.
What if they had been hiding in there from before? Even if someone had been hiding in the studio, they hardly could have poisoned that mug without anyone noticing.
You think I, Spark Brushel, would miss something as obvious as that? No way.
He sure makes it sound exciting. I guess that's his job. There's only one moment we need to focus on, really. The moment when Drew Misham died? Exactly. There has to be something there. Ja, aber ich habe jetzt nichts bemerkt. So, you drank the coffee that Varys served you too?
Of course. When someone serves you coffee, you drink it. That's what my old boss always used to say. Never did get what he meant by it, though.
But you're still alive, which is to say you didn't die.
Of course not. No point falling before you're a star. End quote.
That's not exactly what I was getting at. What were you getting at then? You know the poison was on the rim, not in the coffee.
Oh, yes. There were 2 cups on the tray she brought, and one of the cups had Drew's signature painted on the side.
No chance the guest would take that one by mistake, I guess.
Well, Mr. Justice, was that testimony important?
weiß ja nicht, wo ist denn dann die andere Tasse hin? Gut, die wurde vielleicht einfach abgeräumt. Glaube nicht. So Brushel drank the coffee too. Doesn't look like this is going to lead to much.
Very well, please continue with the testimony.
Was kommt beim letzten? The Stars coffee. You say Mr. Misham had the coffee too, but did you actually see him drink the coffee?
Of course. I use sees it wins, but he who says it wins bigger. End quote. I live in a man sees dog eat dog and writes about it work, yet I guess I can't say I saw him drink it really. He had one so-called sip of that. Man puts lips to mug, drinks. End quote. That poison is quite virulent, I hear. My stomach did a so-called somersault, since I'd gulped down that coffee without so much as a second glance at it. Wait, maybe something's there. Some kind of so-called trick. Anyone want to venture a guess, for the record?
Does this guy have a pause button?
Well, Mr. Justice, did you find the testimony valuable?
Noch am ehesten, weil er es nicht wirklich gesehen hat. Wobei er hat ja gesehen, wie er die Lippen dahin an die Tasse gesetzt hat. Ich fand es nichts important eigentlich. Coffee Mr. Misham drank, that has to be important somehow. Okay, er sieht das nochmal anders. Nein.
Very well.
Ich schon mal sagen. Okay, erste Cross-Examination und ich habe schon keine Ahnung, was mir fehlt. Und ich schätze ihr auch nicht, sonst hättet ihr wahrscheinlich schon was geschrieben. Geht ja gut los. Ich probiere jetzt mal einfach irgendwas als important zu bezeichnen. Very important. The victim drank his coffee, then immediately fell over.
Oh, yes, you can go to press with that one.
Your Honor, this is a vital piece of information. Please add it to the testimony.
Very well, the witness will add this to his testimony. Right.
He had one sip of that. The next moment he was on the floor. See that there? That's poison. Yeah, don't lick it, Apollo. Don't worry, it'll be fine. No, you won't. You'll die. Look, I know, I meant I won't lick it. Who knows what you do when I'm not watching? Concern is touching, really. Next thing you know, she'll be telling me not to drink coffee before bedtime. So he either took a sip or he didn't, and then fell over.
Oh, yes, indubitably. Just like that, wham bam.
So Mr. Misham drank the coffee and fell over immediately. I think Brushel's telling the truth, too. Should I get him to talk about something else? About when Mr. Misham passed away. So he put his mouth over the crash. Then the cold finger of death. Okay, das hatten wir schon. Hit the floor. Serum, unquote. Yeah, total important. As an account of the moment of the victim's death, I'd say it's very important. Please add it to the testimony.
Very well, the court requests the witness add this account to his testimony.
You say it was definitely death by poison. How can you be so sure?
Hey, look, I'm a journalist. I've seen a lot of things, and I've had more than my share of experiences with so-called poisonings. Man eats fishy fish, goes bye-bye. End quote.
Food poisoning doesn't count. Should I get him to talk about something else? Vielleicht sollten wir nochmal unsere Evidence hier durchgehen. Das wird wahrscheinlich nicht weiter wichtig sein. Das jetzt auch erstmal nicht. Time of Death passt ja eigentlich auch. Very important, natürlich. We're talking about the coffee the witness drank. I'd say that is important. Ich bin gerade komplett ahnungslos. You sure you drank the coffee? Oh yes, yes, quite. I gulped it down. Felt that sweet scorch in my throat. But you say the victim took one sip and fell over, and you still kept drinking. Of course, drink your coffee when it's hot, never when it's not. That's what my old boss used to always say. Never really knew what he meant by it. Da hat Apollo ja noch am ehesten gemeint, dass es wichtig wäre. Und nicht, dass mir jetzt irgendwas einfallen würde, aber... Präsentiere das jetzt einfach mal, weil mir nichts anderes einfällt. Oh. Vielleicht hätte ich auch mal die Beschreibung lesen sollen. Traces of the slow-acting deadly poison